Hello, welcome back to God Frequency. Today we're going to be decoding this new album from Electronica, a written testimony. This was a really solid effort from Electronica. I mean, we've been waiting almost a decade for this. I mean, and I can honestly say it was worth the wait. This is going to probably go down. The name of the album is a written testimony, but this is essentially Watch the Throne 2. Harking back to when Jay-Z and Kanye did an album together. Now, I'm not going to do a comparison of the two, but this was a really good effort. This was splendid. We all knew that Jay Electronica, he was a top-notch lyricist, and he held his own with Jay in his album. I mean, there were points where he was outshining Jay-Z. You know, this was really good. I mean, the production, the symmetry, everything worked. They flowed good together. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know how much. I knew Jay-Z was going to be on the album, but no one knew Jay was going to be on it this much. I mean, this could be a Jay-Z album featuring Jay Electronica. But yeah, this was really good. But I'm going to decode this for you really quick. This is going to be a quick video. I was just going to give you something to think about. In the tone of this album. Now I've listened to the album a few times. There were a few songs that stand out. The first one that sort of like, as soon as I heard it, I didn't go any further. I played it over and over, maybe like 20 times. It was Universal Soldier. I mean, that was one of the ones that stood out. That was the first one that got my attention. I enjoy that. But but the tone of the album, there's a lot of Islamic. It has an Islamic tone to it, or Muslim. Jay-Z. I'm not familiar with his religious affiliation, but he's a type of a Muslim. I'm not sure the name. You would have to do your research on that. Pardon me on that. But there's a tone in this. They're doing a lot of there's a lot of references to Allah. They're actually speaking Arabic in the album. I mean, it's a really how they did it. You even got Jay-Z speaking Arabic. So and even citing surahs out of the Quran is all through the album. So now they're playing out. Now that's important. They're playing out they're playing roles. If you think about when you're dealing with Jay-Z, there's a connection with him and Kanye. Now Kanye just released a gospel album. Now we have pretty much Islamic album. I'm not gonna say it's an Islamic album, but there's a lot of a lot of Islamic influence in this body of work, a written testimony. So you're having Jay-Z playing out one role, and you have Kanye playing out another role. One being of Jesus Christ, and one being about the Prophet Muhammad. So, for whatever reason, there are some people in this world. Those are two opposing forces. It seems like they can never get along. So they're playing off each other. There was a split between Kanye and Jay-Z. So you're seeing how they probably wouldn't even come together. how they should. There's going to be some conflict. So it had to happen that way. Jay-Z doesn't believe what Kanye believes, or he doesn't follow that path. Not that he doesn't believe in it, he follows another path, so there's going to be some type of conflict. Now, the reason why this album, A Written Testimony, is so good, Jay-Z and Jay Electronica are actually on the same path. Meaning they may be in the same religion, or they're both very familiar with each other's their spiritual paths here. So you're seeing that chemistry between the two that you didn't necessarily get with Watch the Throne with Kanye. So like I said, I'm not going to do a comparison, but this can hold its own. Yeah, this can hold its own easily. But you're seeing it play out. Now, if I'm losing you on this, out that same group, Kanye did the same thing with now when you looking at, let me just say this, when you're looking at Jay-Z, Kanye, look at that whole group there. You have the Clips, Pusha T, he's under Kanye. The same thing that I was saying that happened with Jay-Z and Kanye actually happened with the Clips. They broke up. Pusha T, he stayed in the limelight. He stayed in the game. And Malice, he turned his life to Christ. Pusha T didn't do that. He's probably more in line with Jay-Z than he is with Kanye in that aspect. So there was a split, so they had to break up. So you having those two opposing forces that just can't get along. It's playing out. It's the same thing happening. It's the same theme that's happening with Jay-Z and Kanye. So they're playing this out. As you know, you hear the term "as above, so below." So what they're doing is they're playing out a role right in front of our eyes of two opposing forces. They're actually playing gods. They're setting a stage. They know what they're doing. It's all a show. For those that can see this, you think that can see this, we applaud it. It is masterfully done. I mean, a lot of people, this stuff goes over people's heads, but the people who want to know, they love seeing this stuff. They love seeing it play out. You thinking it's more than just listening to the music and the video. There's also a frequency that they're riding on, and sometimes they may not even be completely aware that this is happening to them. When you're dealing with these frequencies, when I say frequencies, like I said before, you actually I'm a spiritual channel, but we believe that I'm in the belief that the thing that we call God is actually a frequency. God doesn't actually have a physical form. He can, but he can be a frequency. It's like Wi-Fi. You can tap into that. So what they're doing is they're tapping into, this is their interpretation of that frequency that they're receiving. Now we all get it, but you can look at my previous videos, and I'll actually go in depth a little more about that. But I'm not going to do that in this video. But you're more than welcome to view my previous videos. But that's what they're doing. Those that have the eyes can see it. It's actually masterfully done. I'm not saying it's good or evil. Actually, I enjoy watching these things. It's a show. It's a show for me. And people who actually view this stuff, they're amused by it. It reinforces their own beliefs, because just as much. A lot of people need to understand this. When you're dealing with, let's say, the people who follow the path of Jesus. And and a lot of times those are some of the sweetest people you could possibly ever meet, and they sincerely believe in their Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. But on the opposite side of that, there's someone who believes in their path or their God just as much as you believe in yours. And could those two ever get along? Possibly in certain situations, but they're almost like two opposing forces. Do they get along? Yes, they do. They do their best, but one would never believe what the other believes. So that's what they're playing out. So one side is going to love what Jay-Z is doing. One side is going to love what Kanye is doing, and you're seeing this play out. That's all this is, and they're pushing their agendas. I've been watching Jay-Z for a while. He's a thinker. He's a man of vision. I mean, these guys are just putting out music. They're pushing an agenda. They're pushing an agenda. Now, that agenda, look, I honestly can see what they're doing, and this thing that Jay-Z is doing. It's commendable. Jay-Z's look at where this guy's come from. I think he's a billionaire by now. A billionaire. Yes, I mean he's the real deal. There was one point I thought Jay-Z was going to go into politics. I mean, they told me he couldn't be a mayor or run for Senate out of New York. Anything's possible these days. Anything. So that's what they're doing. They're playing out roles, and I'm going to make a prediction. I'd love to see more of this. Jay-Z, we probably won't be getting. I'm not going to say never, but having a Jay-Z album, just him, we may never see that again. I think Jay-Z feels comfortable doing this where he's, co-partnering with another artist. I'm getting that feel from him. So it actually is good for him. It keeps him motivated. I honestly think it keeps him motivated. I mean, think Jay-Z. Like I said before, him and this guy, they're very similar in how they deliver and how they flow. And both are excellent lyricists. I mean, this was actually a wonderful treat. But will we get another Watch the Throne? If we do get it, the prediction is it's going to be called the Holy Trinity. That's my prediction for this. I would love to see Jay-Z, Jay Electronica, Nas, and Kanye on this next one. This is where they all come together. You got Kanye on production and an album where they're mix matching Jay-Z, Jay Electronica, Nas, Jay Electronica track. The next track you get Jay and Nas, Kanye come in for a few songs. The Holy Trinity. Now, I would love to see that. Yeah. So I expect this to do pretty good. I haven't been following the first week sales for this or anything like that. But like I said before, it's not going to get the praise it should be getting because of the coronavirus. So I hope that isn't the case. But like I said, I'm going to keep this short. Tell me what you think. If you disagree, let me know. And don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment. And don't forget to check out some of my other videos. I have a good one called Decoded. Let me know what you think, and good day.